Hello, mortals. I am Dr. Dark, and today we are going to explore one of the most bizarre and terrifying diseases in the history of medicine. Imagine dying from laughing so hard, literally. In 1957, in the remote region of Papua New Guinea, researchers discovered a tribe where people developed an uncontrollable laugh that led to their death within months. The natives called this curse Kuru, which means tremor or fear in a local language, but the scientific world soon dubbed it the deadly laughing disease. The story begins even more grimly. In the 1950s, the Fore tribe had a peculiar funeral ritual. They practiced cannibalism as a way of honoring their dead. Women and children mainly consumed the brains and nervous systems of the deceased, while the men ate the muscles. What they didn't know was that they were literally feeding on death, because within these neural tissues lived a microscopic killer more sinister than any virus known to mankind. But Kuru is not caused by a common virus, bacterium, or parasite. It is caused by something much more frightening: a prion. Prion are deformed proteins that act like infectious agents, but in a completely different way from any other pathogen. They have no DNA, RNA, or any genetic material. They are simply misfolded proteins that have the diabolical ability to transform normal proteins into deformed versions of themselves. It's like a zombie virus that turns healthy proteins into microscopic monsters. What makes prion even more terrifying is their supernatural resistance. They survive temperatures that would kill any virus or bacteria, resist ultraviolet radiation, and the most powerful disinfectants, and can remain active in the soil for decades. It's as if they are immortal, waiting patiently for a new victim to infect. When a Kuru prion enters a human brain, it begins its slow but inexorable work of destruction. The prion specifically attacks the cerebellum, the region of the brain responsible for motor control, balance, and coordination. First, it destroys the cells that control fine movements, then progresses to more complex motor functions. The victim begins to develop uncontrollable tremors, especially when trying to perform voluntary movements. But here's the most macabre part. As the cerebellum is destroyed, the person develops episodes of pathological and uncontrollable laughter. The initial symptoms are deceptively subtle. The person begins to stumble more frequently, has difficulty holding small objects, and develops an unsteady gait. But within weeks, the tremors intensify dramatically. The victim can no longer walk in a straight line, falls constantly, and completely loses the ability to perform simple tasks such as feeding or dressing. It is at this stage that the most disturbing symptom appears: pathological laughter. This laughter is not normal. It is demonic, uncontrolled, and completely disconnected from any real emotion. The person laughs compulsively, unable to stop, even when in pain, fear, or sadness. It is as if the brain has completely lost control over facial expressions and vocalizations. The muscles of the face contract involuntarily, producing this macabre smile that persists until the last moments of life. As the disease progresses, brain destruction becomes more evident. The person develops severe dysphagia, i.e., they completely lose the ability to swallow, leading to malnutrition and dehydration. The tremors become so intense that the victim can no longer stand or sit without support. Speech becomes incomprehensible, reduced to guttural sounds interspersed with this haunting laughter. In the final stage, the person becomes completely bedridden, still laughing involuntarily, until death arrives from starvation, pneumonia, or other complications. What terrified researchers most was discovering that the incubation period for Kuru can last for decades. People who participated in cannibalistic rituals in the 1940s and 1950s only began to develop symptoms in the 1980s and 1990s. It is as if the prion lies dormant in the brain, patiently waiting for the right moment to awaken and begin its destruction. Some victims took more than 50 years to show the first symptoms, turning Kuru into a silent death sentence that can be incubated for a lifetime. The Fore tribe was decimated by this disease. Between 1957 and 1968, more than 1,000 people died of Kuru, mainly women and children who consumed brain tissue during rituals. Entire villages were virtually wiped out, and survivors lived in constant terror, knowing that at any moment they could develop the first tremors that heralded their death sentence. What makes the story even darker is that Kuru belongs to the same family of diseases as mad cow disease and Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. which can affect any human being. All are caused by prion, and all are invariably fatal. There is no cure, no treatment, no hope. Once prion begin their work of destruction in the brain, death is only a matter of time. Today, Kuru has virtually disappeared because the Fore tribe abandoned its cannibalistic practices, but the last cases are still appearing decades after initial exposure. It's a grim reminder that some diseases are so sinister that they can stalk their victims for a lifetime, waiting for the perfect moment to claim their souls. Remember, mortals, there are horrors in nature that surpass any nightmare we can imagine, and Kuru is proof that sometimes reality is more terrifying than any fiction. If this video made you question the limits of natural cruelty, leave a like to feed the darkness of the algorithm. And if you want more dark knowledge about the sinister mysteries of medicine, subscribe to the channel. Until the next consultation, if you can stop laughing,